We often mistake the urge to downsize for simple fatigue. We tell ourselves we are just tired of cleaning the dust from the skirting boards, or that the stairs are getting a little steeper because of a bad knee. But according to groundbreaking research from UCLA, the feeling of being overwhelmed by your own home is not a character flaw. It is a physiological response. It was not until a couple named Margaret and Bill picked up a simple spiral notebook that they discovered the truth about their living situation. But before we get to their experiment, we have to understand the hidden biology of the home. When you walk into a living room filled with heavy oak cabinets, stacks of old magazines, and decades of accumulated objects, your brain does not just see furniture. It processes a landscape of visual chaos. This triggers a measurable spike in cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, by up to 30%. If you feel drained, foggy, or irritable the moment you step through your own front door, it isn't just aging. It is a biological warning signal. Your environment is physically taxing your nervous system. For many people over 60, the family home transforms from a sanctuary into a source of chronic, low-level stress. But because this change happens slowly, over years of collected memories and deferred decisions, we rarely notice it until a crisis forces our hand. To understand why we stay in homes that no longer serve us, we have to look at the psychology of ownership. Psychologists use a term called place identity. It is the deep emotional belief that our memories and our sense of self are woven into the physical walls and windows of our home. The markings on the door frame where the children grew taller are not just wood and paint. They are tangible evidence of the past. But this emotional connection has a shadow side. When that identity is buried under dusty, unopened boxes in a dark attic, it triggers a condition known as possession attachment. It becomes mentally difficult to throw even a single item away. The brain confuses the physical object, like a box of old college textbooks or a chipped porcelain vase with the memory attached to it. Discarding the object feels like deleting the memory itself. This leads to decision fatigue. Every time you look at a cluttered garage or a stuffed closet, your brain has to make hundreds of micro decisions. Keep or toss, donate or sell, useful or sentimental. This constant cognitive load burns through your energy reserves before you even lift a box. The result is paralysis. We stay in homes that are too big, too expensive, and too dangerous, simply because the psychological cost of sorting through the past feels higher than the financial cost of staying put. While the psychological battle plays out in our minds, the physical architecture of the home often turns against our bodies. Most homes built 30 or 40 years ago were designed for young families, not for the reality of aging in place. We need to talk about the statistics from the English Housing Survey. They found that only 19% of homes offer true step-free access. This means over 80% of housing stock is architecturally hostile to anyone with changing mobility needs. Consider the story of Linda, a retired teacher in Pennsylvania. For years she ran up and down her stairs without a second thought, but after a minor slip, the staircase changed from a functional pathway into a daily hurdle. Carrying a heavy laundry basket down to the basement became a calculated risk. For a homeowner between 55 and 64, the statistical risk of a fall on the stairs sits at 7%. But in regions with older housing stock, like the east of England, that risk jumps to 11%. A single slip on a polished hardwood floor or a loose carpet runner can change your life in a split second. This isn't just about fear-mongering, it is about universal design principles. A home that demands you balance on a ladder to change a light bulb or step over a high bathtub rim to take a shower is a home with a design flaw. It is a machine that requires a level of physical agility that no human maintains forever. Then there is the silent erosion of your wealth. We often think that once the mortgage is paid off, the house is free. This is the most dangerous myth in retirement planning. Economists track a metric called the housing cost burden. This formula includes property taxes, insurance premiums, utilities, and routine maintenance. According to federal guidelines, these costs should never exceed 30% of your monthly income. But for many retirees on a fixed pension, inflation pushes these costs higher every single year. Heating a 4-bedroom house where 2 of the rooms are completely empty is a direct drain on your pension liquidity. Cooling a sunroom that no one sits in is essentially burning cash. Then we have the issue of deferred maintenance. This is the financial term for the repairs we put off because they are too expensive or too much hassle. Take Alan, a 71-year-old from East Sussex. For years he prided himself on maintaining his own property. Every autumn, he would set up a tall ladder to clear the leaves from his gutters. But as the years passed, the climb felt shakier. The garden, once a source of pride, began to fill with weeds that outpaced his energy. Then came the breaking point. A sudden leak in the roof brought a repair estimate of over £10,000. The numbers on the page shifted his thinking. He realized that the house stopped being a piggy bank and started becoming a money pit. So how do you know when it is time? Sometimes you need hard data to cut through the emotion. This brings us back to Margaret and Bill in Ohio. They decided to run a 7-day experiment called a room log. The concept was simple. They placed a notepad in every room of their large, suburban house. Every time they entered a room to actually use it, not just to walk through it, they made a check mark. After 1 week, the results were undeniable. The kitchen, the den, and the master bedroom were covered in check marks. But the formal dining room? 0. The 2 guest bedrooms upstairs? 0. The finished basement with the pool table? 0. They realized they were paying property taxes, heating bills, and insurance to store furniture in rooms they had not truly inhabited for months. They were living in 20% of their house, but paying for 100% of it. This realization is the difference between sunk cost fallacy, keeping the house because you have paid for it for years, and rational asset management. Beyond the money and the stairs, there is the issue of time. A large home demands a part-time job's worth of labor. Think about the weekends lost to maintenance, mowing a large lawn in the summer heat, shoveling a long driveway in the freezing winter. The satisfaction of home ownership is replaced by the fatigue of obligation. We also have to consider the location. Many family homes are located in car-dependent suburbs designed for parents driving children to school. But as we age, driving can become stressful, especially at night or in bad weather. If you cannot walk to a grocery store, a coffee shop, or a pharmacy, your large home becomes a beautiful prison. Social isolation is one of the biggest health risks for older adults. Staying in a house that isolates you from your community because you are tired of driving is a high price to pay for square footage. The conversation about downsizing often feels like a defeat. It feels like admitting we are too old for our own lives. But we need to reframe this. We are not downsizing. We are right-sizing. We are moving from a legacy asset that served a past version of our lives to a functional asset that serves who we are today. Imagine moving to a modern apartment or a single-story bungalow designed with universal design principles. Picture a home with wide doorways that feel spacious and welcoming. Imagine a walk-in shower with no heavy glass doors to scrub. Think about a kitchen with drawers that slide shut silently, where everything is within reach without needing a step stool. This is not a downgrade. It is an upgrade in quality of life. When you remove the burden of the leaking roof, the overgrown lawn, and the empty rooms, you reclaim something more valuable than space. You reclaim your time. You reclaim your energy. You stop worrying about the next surprise repair bill and start planning your next vacation. If you are wondering where to start, try the room log experiment yourself. Track your movement for a week. Or look at your bank statement and circle every expense related to the house. Seeing the reality on paper can be the permission you need to let go. The real question isn't what you leave behind in the moving truck. The furniture is just wood. The boxes are just paper. The memories are not in the attic. They are in you. They travel with you wherever you go. If you are standing in a quiet hallway, listening to the echo and wondering if it is time to go, trust that instinct. Recognizing the signal is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the wisdom to know that the house has finished its job. It raised the children, it sheltered the family, it held the history. But now, it is time for a home that takes care of you, instead of you taking care of it. Your next chapter is waiting, and it doesn't have stairs.